look at that chart, the number of times we could circle the earth if every human held hands. How many times? Okay. More than 1 in 3 people are on earth are either Chinese or Indian. Why do you think so? Probably because they have the largest population, right? Okay, I'm just doing the main things, not everything. Okay. So factors in influencing growth rate, right? So why is the population so high? What are the factors, right? The birth rate, death rate, and amount of migration have the biggest impact on a population's growth rate, right? Birth rate and death rate refer to the number of people who are born and die in a year. Obviously, the more people the birth rate, the higher it is, the population gets higher, right? And then the death rate, the more of the people die, and then it gets lower. So it fluctuates. Overall, the population is increasing, meaning there are more births happening in various countries to contribute to the population growing. Okay. Okay. Around the world, the rate of population growth is not equal. So do you think that the population growth is equal? Not really, because if we look at countries like China and India, they have a very, very large population. If we look at some other countries, for example, Antarctica or even Canada, it has still a lower population, right? So it's not even in every country. Some countries have a very, very large population and some have a very low population. So this might be one of the questions that can come on the quiz, right? Is the population even around the growth of the population even around the earth, or is it kind of not balanced, right? So it's not equal, right? So this could be one of the questions. Yeah, so if we look at that chart, you can see how the population is growing, right? Just we're doing the main things only. Okay, so what are the impacts of a growing population, right? So what happens if the population grows? The impacts can mean the positive effects of this or the negative effect of growing population, right? So some positive effects could be that there are more contributing to society, or we need more energy to sustain these lives, or we need more food and crops to sustain these lives. We need more land, right? So there could be positive and negative impacts of population growth. This might come on the test, the quiz, okay? Remember these things. What are some positive impacts of a growing population, and what are some negative? Mahnur, are you listening?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay, if anybody has any questions, you can ask me, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, overpopulated regions do not have the resources to support a growing population. So overpopulated places, for example, China, if we look at it, it's not very, no, sorry. For example, India, it's not a very, very large country, but the population is so large, right? So this has this means carrying capacity, okay? How much capacity a country has to carry people. Measures the maximum population that can survive without using up resource. For example, if a region has limited farmland, okay, that's too detailed. It's okay, we won't go over that. Overpopulation can impact natural resources like land, water, and air, right? Too many people in an area can also drain social resources like welfare and housing. Obviously, so this is one of the negative impacts of overpopulation. Is that you need more housing, you need more welfare, you need more water, you need more land, you need more air, right? So this is one of the negative impacts of having too many people. If we look at another thing, is that poverty, right? So if there's too many, jobs may not be available, the cost of living may increase, right? Another challenge is pollution. More people means more what? What's in this picture here? More people, more garbage, right? More waste. Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yeah, we're seeing the screen.
Yeah, so more people means more waste, more air, more pollution, right? So more people there are, the more things you need, okay? Okay, let's go to the next lesson. I think the second lesson we did was about...
We watched the video.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
It's a different one.
No, the one before.
No,
Yes. It was the one we just watched.
it's a different one.
Okay, Where do people live? Remember this lesson we did? Okay, the second thing we learned about is where do people live, right? Where do people choose to live, right? So based on different factors, right? Population distribution, I think you guys remember this, right? Is the way that the population is distributed in a certain country. So do we think that the population is distributed equally amongst the world? No, right? Because some places are very densely populated and some places are very, scattered, right? So there's different
Yeah.
population distributions we learned. We learned about clustered, right? Clustered means close together. There's a lot of people close together. Scattered means spread over a large area and not grouped together. And linear, forming a line. And peripheral, distributed along other perimeter of an area.
Vegetable.
Okay, so there's different ways that the population is distributed, right? Okay, look at this question. This could be what factors could be affecting the population distribution in Africa or even around the world, right? So why do you think people live in more densely populated areas, right? For example, people might live the population in Antarctica may be very dense. Why do we think so? This could be a question because the climate there is very cold. Not a lot of people choose to live there. Another thing I can ask is why do you think people in, for example, countries like the United States or United Kingdom or Canada, why do you think the population is very large over there, right? And especially in the larger towns, it's because probably people choose to live in larger cities because, they have more resources over there. What else?